Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Workshop. My name is Shurjo Bhattacharjee, and with this video, I'm starting a collection of videos about one of my favorite subjects, and that is the Mahabharata. And the Mahabharata, delving into it, has given me immense joy and comfort over the last 14 odd years that I've been reading it quite seriously. And it gives me great grounding and balance. So I'm hopeful that with me sharing some of the stories from the Mahabharata, it can do the same for you. Uh, Today is going to be just an introduction. We're not going to talk about a specific story within the Mahabharata, but let's say we shall just set the groundwork. What is the Mahabharata? And that is quite beautiful in itself. Most of us, having grown up in India, are acquainted with the Mahabharata. Either we have learnt some of the stories from our mothers, grandmothers, fathers. We have certain portions of it in our history textbooks in school at a young age. We get some of that. I've had some of that, very basic renditions. Most of that focuses on just the two sets of cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, the 18 days of war in Kurukshetra. But the Mahabharata is much more than that. That is, of course, the narrative centerpiece, let's say. Everything is woven around that. But there's a lot more to it than that. What it is, if I can put it very simply, is a collection of practically all the stories in the land of Bharat up until that point. The point being the war in Kurukshetra. Anything that has happened before that in the land of Bharat is mentioned. So actually, the book was only called Bharat. The book was initially called Jai. It was a story of the victory of good over evil, of light over darkness. It was called Jai. But the scope of the book grew over time, and then it became a collection of all the stories of the land of Bharat. So it started to be called Bharat. To simplify it, what the author Vyasji, Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas, we often refer to him as Ved Vyas. But Vyasji, well, Ved Vyas is actually a bit of a misnomer. Misnomer is not exactly right, or maybe it could be. It's okay now, it doesn't matter. But Ved Vyas could also be translated literally as the Ved of Vyas. The Ved of Vyas is the Mahabharata. So Ved Vyas could also actually refer to the book because it is the Ved of Vyas. The person's name is Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas. Krishna means the dark one. Dvaipayan means one born on an island. The dark one born on an island. Or once you get into his origin story, Vyasji's origin story, then you will realize why he has been named such. But we can essentially say what Vyasji was trying to do was to capture all the essence of the four Vedas, all the teachings of the Vedas, the Puranas, the Upanishads, in a relatable format. In a format where the common person can read it and feel the richness of the Vedas, feel the richness of the learnings of the Vedas without getting into the complex language. Something that is often happened throughout the course of history in our country. Often spiritualism or religion gets so complicated, we need something to simplify it. For example, in later years, we had religions like Buddhism and Jainism, which simplified Hinduism and made it easier to understand, and therefore they are still followed today. The Mahabharata was like that, or should I say, the Bharat was like that. This book, which contains all the stories of India, was the simple version of all the Vedas. All the teachings can be put together in an interesting manner. It is being put through the medium of stories. So then we can understand the moral values. It's like moral stories. That is what it was. And somewhere down the line, they who were learned, the sages, the rishis, they realized that the value of the Bharat, this book, is now surpassing the value of the Vedas to the ordinary man. It is becoming more important. That is when it started to be called the Mahabharata, the grand book. This grand book about this land of Bharat, Mahabharata. I'm trying to put it across as simply as possible also. Now you may ask, what do you mean all the stories in the land of Bharat up until that point? What kind of stories? All kinds of stories. For example, the Ramayana is in the Mahabharata, not Valmiki's Ramayana, not Ramcharitmanas, but Ram, his exploits, going to Lanka, defeating Ravan, getting back Sita Ma. Those exploits are written in the Mahabharata. Maybe not in the granular detail of Valmiki's Ramayana, no, but it is there. But many other stories, for example, why is the snake's tongue forked? Why do we lose control of our senses when we drink wine? Why do we give the three-pronged grass, the durba grass, for worship? Stories of the origins of our gods, Ganga, they're all there. So it's a wonderful treasure trove of stories. And that is what the Bharat is. Or should now we say the Mahabharata. In this upcoming series of videos, I shall be sharing certain stories. And again, if there are stories that you want to hear about, because there'll be lots of beautiful, amazing stories, it is there for us to enjoy and get joy out of. Please do let me know if there are certain stories you want me to tell, and of course, I will try and cover them. This is the introduction to the series in the spiritual workshop called Stories from the Mahabharata. I hope you join me on this journey and we experience the joys and pleasures of the Mahabharata together. Can't wait to see you in the next video.